to go from first week of finals out last year to the most dominant team, no holes in your game this year, I think he'd be winning it for me at the moment.
Welcome, everyone, to the Eddie and Jimmy podcast for the Ask Eddie and Jimmy pod segment, where we answer your questions. You can always email us, and we love it when you email us at eddieandjimmy@tapt, TAPT, media.com.au. Make sure you find us on YouTube and Instagram. Just search Eddie and Jimmy. Got to thank Fiji Airways and Hyundai. Hyundai, you can do big things with your Lexio. Visit your local Hyundai dealer today. And Fiji Airways, get some sunshine, of course, whether you're coming to and from somewhere beautiful. Visit FijiAirways.com to book your flight to Fiji and beyond. Fiji Airways, where happiness takes flight. Well, it must have been not too bad, not too painful for Sam Docherty, because he's back from the Monday Course podcast. Thanks for coming back, Doc.
No worries. Good to be here again.
Well, we get to answer some questions. We've got some great listeners who throw up some fantastic ideas, and we'll kick it off straight away from Brett. Now, remember, you can hashtag Ask Eddie and Jimmy. June snooze. Every year, I find June to be the most boring month of the footy season. Not only is it ridiculously stretched out buys that Dylan yet again backed in the other day, but the season just goes into a real lull. Right at the time where other sports are getting more attention, we willingly take a back seat. What can we do to stimulate some excitement this time of year in the current 24-round season? It seems we're happy to lose ground to other sports at this time of year.
Simple solution: get rid of the buys.
Yes,
I think this is what happens every year. Everyone it stalls the season. Ultimately, the ladder doesn't make any sense for 6 weeks because some teams have played more games than others. It becomes a bit less interesting. So I remove the buys, have a footy showcase, and then keep rolling to the back end of the year.
Yep, you could get me to maybe just the 2 weeks, so you can go half one week, half the other week, or whatever that may be, or you do all teams bar 2 games, and you do it that way. Or, as you said, like call it an industry shutdown and actually get back and have a look at state league football, underage football. We can have national carnivals for under 18s and 16s. We can have that's the opportunity to play the AFLW Ireland versus Australia. You have plenty of opportunities.
There's a million different things you could do.
Just
have
don't
a footy festival over that weekend.
Just don't do what we're doing.
Yeah, just don't do what we're doing now.
Yeah, take this, scrunch it up, and put it in the little cupboard that you created, AFLX, and also put it in the little bit of cupboard where we had the ticket system for players coming on and off the ground. Remember that?
No, don't
remember when the Swans had too many players on the field, and the AFL brought in this system where it was almost like a ticket you had to hand over for interchange. They balls that one up as well.
That's brilliant.
So put that in the boneheaded ideas cupboard. And maybe just check your homework, of course, because it just felt like they handed in the draft, because 9 buys. You got states where there's 2 teams and both of them are on a bye. You can play one in 1 week and one in another week. There's so many easy things. We've got overlapping games where not every game is on.
Yeah, there's too many things that's, as the listener said, there's too many things that are stalling it.
No one's screaming out for Friday night double headers.
Nope. Do you want to keep going or?
Yeah, just put all the stuff you did this year and use that as the template. If it fits that, it's wrong. From Mike, Big Mike, the New Zealand Hawks, with the deal between Hawthorn and Tassie obviously coming to an end, should the AFL set up a deal for the Hawks to take games to Wellington, maybe the Kicktin, to grow the game in New Zealand? The Hawks have ties to New Zealand, including with the NZ AFL national team. Bring the Hawks to New Zealand. Once Auckland builds a proper cricket ground, then the AFL could go back introducing a New Zealand team to the AFL competition, with games being played in Auckland, Wellington and Christchurch. What do you think? Also, what do you think of Christchurch new roof stadium, delivered on time and under budget for about $500 million? So I'll just jump in regarding taking games away. So this is part of the conversations around 24-round season, and call it a neutral venue round that the AFL's raised with the CEOs who are up on schoolies, of course, on the Gold Coast. What that actually do is you still keep the same amount of games currently, in the places that you got them, but then you encourage all AFL clubs to go sell a game to a neutral. So it's the Kangaroos Bunbury, it's the Alice Springs, it's the Darwin, and that's why the Bulldogs to India. So it's not actually giving up one of your home games by creating a new home game, if you will, a money spinner.
Yeah, I'm not against that. If the way you can grow the game, that's not it's not too taxing on everything else in the game. I think it's only fair. I actually played a game Anzac Day and
you did play
Wellington.
the kick.
Yeah, I played it was Carlton St Kilda over
That's
Wellington
right.
on Anzac Day. That was a
They kicked it off the Anzac. I think there was 5. Was that the 5-game one?
It was when
We played in Freo.
Anzac Day landed on a Saturday, and they played a heap of games through that day. I think it was.
I reckon we played the last one against Freo in the West. So obviously we came across the
across the Nullarbor.
Yeah, well, yeah, across New Zealand. Then I think we kicked off an early game.
Yeah, I'd say there would have been. And then they had Anzac Day, and then must have finished one.
Yeah, and then across.
I think if we can expand the game into new territories, I think it's worth taking. I'm not a big hater of that. How it fits into the schedule in terms of maybe that sits just before the bye, and then everyone can have a break after travelling to who knows where. That's not a bad one. Just on the on time under budget, 500 mil for the stadium. Well, there's a template there, so maybe we should have a look at that for down in Tassie.
Yeah, it's a great stadium. They had to strip back a lot of things to bring it under budget, so it's what you're willing to compromise to get to $500 million. The only issue we have in Australia is budget and time. Whenever we do major infrastructure projects, I know some do, but majority don't. And just the cost of building things. Yes, they went through it at Christchurch, but if you're starting to build now,
Be different.
It'd be a little bit different. I'm very hopeful it does, Mike, come closer to the number that they're suggesting, but they've already gone from 700 well over $1 billion. But that's not anti-Tassie. I can't wait for the Devils to come in and play wherever. I'm not as anchored to the stadium and the roof as others. I
don't think not everyone is, but I think when you promise something, that's the bit that everyone starts to anchor to. Yeah, when you say there's a team coming in with the roof stadium,
well, it's condition to the license. Yeah. Thanks for the question, Mike. Stephen, too many guernseys, footy jumpers, whatever you want to call it. I'm sick to death of the amount of jumper variations clubs are running with at the moment. Can't clubs stick to their traditional guernsey and only ever wear an alternative strip if there's a jumper clash?
I'm against Stephen on this one. I love the jumpers. I love the creativity and the fun of it all. Plus, I'm a big American sports fan, and I love the way they do it over there in terms of the difference that they have in their, whether it's basketball or NFL. Just add something different to the game. Get a bit more of a collection. Some of the ones the stealth jumper for Freo is one of my all-time favourites. So that might have really swayed me over.
Yeah. Well, that's on my list. So I'm saying a top 5, but I'm going to blow it out.
You're going to have top 5?
Closely. I've got Freo's stealth one in there. I've got the Giants all charcoal.
Yeah, that was a cracker.
Yeah, I like that. I think they should wear that more often. I love Hawthorn's Indigenous round footy jumper they wore. It's just got this like pattern and texture to it. It's a beauty. I love Port Adelaide's teal with the black V.
Yep.
And I'm always a big fan of the Suns guava.
The Suns guava.
The guava is good. And with those sort of the brownie kind of coloured shorts, I wish that was their actual just colours.
I think that this is the fun of the game. That you can go down the traditional route where you go back to the heritage of the club of a traditional jumper from years gone by. I think they're outstanding when they bring those ones back. I like the ones where they go kind of the stealth mode, and they try and change it up in that aspect. And I also love the Indigenous one, bringing some Indigenous culture to our game. I think it's outstanding.
They're all crackers, those Indigenous ones. The West Coast and Adelaide ones were good too. They popped. Yes. But the Hawthorns, just if I had to pick one for this year's, the Hawks Indigenous jumper was fantastic. Happy. Well, I hope he's happy. Caretaker Coach of the Year. Has a caretaker coach ever been considered for Coach of the Year? Josh Fraser would be a real chance if he can keep this up. Well, he'd be caretaker coach of the year, of course. But will he?
2-horse race at the moment.
It is. But could he possibly be coach of the year? Closest was Paul Roos, who won coach of the year at Sydney in 2023, his first full season after being appointed caretaker, of course, in mid 2003, appointed caretaker mid-2002.
Who would you have for Coach of the Year?
Justin Longmuir.
Yeah.
If you win 14 in a row, it's always... I get there's different years where not over whoever finishes on top, but you can't fault anything Justin Longmuir has done, can you?
No. I think there'd be 3.
All right, it's your chance to do a top.
Top 3?
Yeah, so you
I don't want to go to 5.
No,
one's Longmuir.
Yeah.
Justin Longmuir.
JL.
I think, as you said, to go from first week of finals out last year to the most dominant team, no holes in your game this year, I think he'd be winning it for me at the moment. Stephen King would be number 2 for me.
That's my name, yep.
to take Melbourne from where they were to where they are now and the difference in their game too. Third would be Fraser for me at the moment. If you're just going off, I don't know, shift of direction of the club from where they were to where they are now and then where they could be in the back end of the year, this is probably caveat on how far it actually goes in the back end of the year. But in terms of how far he's turned the club around, all three of those guys, I think, have shifted the direction of the footy club from where they were to where they are now. It's
pretty good top three. You can send in your thoughts anytime at Ask Eddie and Jimmy. Use that hashtag. Jonathan, Lachie Neale to Hawthorn. Can't understand why the Hawks wouldn't go after Lachie Neale. Perfect for us in the premiership window. Get Merritt and then pick up Ben King. So you're going to go for three of them because obviously Lachie Neale won't cost you any draft capital because he'd be coming as a free agent. But salary cap-wise, it'd be difficult to squeeze all three of those gentlemen in.
Yeah, it'd be incredibly difficult to squeeze all of those in. And this is what everyone, it always humours me around the free agency model when everyone says they're free. They take up often a little bit over what they should be getting paid. So then they do take up a fair chunk of your salary cap, which can cost you on who else is in that mix. Hawthorn just in an odd spot in terms of their midfield. I think their midfield's very, very good, but there's always this quest for someone else to come in there. So if someone's going to come in, then some players will have to tip out because you can't fit the likes of Mackenzie in there if you're bringing in Lachie Neale or Zach Merritt. So it'll be an interesting watch on who they bring in and then who falls out.
Yep, they're certainly in the market, of course. Sam Mitchell and the Hawks are very proactive in that space. Koch, not Kochi or Trent Cotchin, but Koch. Pardon?
Koch with a K.
Yeah, he's going different, going rogue. Pack the G. For big games, to get an extra 10,000 or more, I'd consider getting rid of seating behind both goals and have standing room for younger fans. This way, less fans miss out on grand final day. They have this in Germany and it looks amazing. For 1 or 2 games a year, I'd love to see 115,000 in the MCG. Thousands packed behind the goals would look amazing.
Not a bad idea.
Yeah, the idea is fun.
I don't know how it practically works, but if you look at Adelaide Oval and their standing room,
the Adelaide Oval's awesome.
It just changes the dynamic of the stadium. It adds something different. It adds something fun, as you said, for kids to be able to run around and kick footies and chase. It'd be pretty cool to see that little spot, but you wouldn't want too many kids in there because then no one will see the footy. So,
well, I sit over there, and the man who usually sits here, Eddie, he's very big on redoing the MCG, which is clearly coming down the pipe. So he wants to put on a roof on it. He wants to build out over the train lines and all sorts of stuff. Big picture ideas, which we love from Ed. You wonder if we follow up with Ed, is there a consideration to increase capacity? Take it to 120,000.
You'd have to go up though, wouldn't you, to put it to more?
Up or go down to go up a little bit? Sink the ground.
Sink the ground down. Yeah, maybe.
Because he was talking about getting in, so you can bring pitchers in. You can quickly swap over the venue.
Yeah, the American style where they kind of wheel it in, wheel it out.
Wheel it in, wheel it out. So it'd be curious. So I might ask him, Koch, when he is back from suntanning in Fiji, of course, what are the plans regarding capacity at the MCG? Hey, it's been great fun having you again on Wednesday. Go home, have a nap, come back tomorrow because I've got more for you. Sam Docherty, loved having you on the podcast. We'll talk to you all tomorrow with our predictions for the round ahead. Make sure you follow Eddie and Jimmy wherever you get your podcasts. Find us on Instagram and YouTube. Just search Eddie and Jimmy.